this thing right here, this little white box, is my custom built computer that I built a few months ago, and I actually made a video about it. And here I have the analytics for that video, and I titled that video Building My Dream Computer, and that video has now become my second most viewed video of all time. It's not really performing anymore, but yeah, it's sitting at 44,832 views, which is much more than my channel average if you take a look. I don't want to focus on numbers too much, but it's actually crazy because this video was definitely a one-off video. My channel is not like a tech channel at all. So yeah, this is like a random one-off video. It just happened to be what I was doing in my life, so I filmed it, made a video, and did not expect it to get this many views. And I think that really just goes to show how unpredictable YouTube and posting content can be, because a lot of times I'll make a video and be super proud of it, but it won't get that many views, which is totally okay. And then sometimes I'll post a video just randomly, just for fun, and not think too much of it, and it'll become my most viewed video. So yeah, pretty weird. I try not to think too much about the YouTube algorithm, or else it gives me a headache. But for some more context about this computer, this is my like everything computer. It does everything from schoolwork to editing to gaming to like watching YouTube videos, everything. Also, I saw some people asking like, what games do I play? I basically only play one game, and it's this game called Valorant, which is super popular. You guys probably know about it. It's like a competitive shooter, and to be honest, I actually really suck at it, but it's just so addicting, and I'm trying to spend less time on it, but yeah, it just reels me back in. I feel like video games have been a very big part of my life since growing up. I mean, I grew up in the age where having like a Wii was like the thing at your house, and you would play with your friends and family. And I remember growing up, how it worked in my house was that we would get a new video game every year at Christmas, and that would be what we would play. So every year, my brother and I, we would have to coordinate what games we would ask for so that we had enough to play for the entire year. So yeah, I was a big Nintendo kid as I was growing up, played a lot of like Pokemon, Mario, things like that. And then as I grew up, I transitioned to like other games. I built my first computer, started playing Counter-Strike, and that has led me to where I am now. And I think when you tell people that you play video games, sometimes they get like this bad image in their head for some reason. I don't really understand why people see playing video games as such a terrible thing to do. I get that it's not the most productive thing, but there's also many things I could list that are way worse than just playing video games. Like, I don't really play any single-player games. When I play video games, it's mainly to hang out with my friends that don't live in the same city as me. And I realize that as you get older, it's harder to maintain those relationships with like your old friends, your high school friends, unless you make the time for it. And when all of your friends, when your friend group is living all across the world, all across the country, it's really hard to find a time to actually meet up. So video games, hanging out, playing like these multiplayer games with like 4 or 5 of your friends at a time is really like hanging out with them without being in the same city and being able to actually see like each other face to face. Playing video games is like that next best fun activity you can do when you're not all together. So going back, do I wish that I had never played tactical shooters and competitive shooters? Like a little bit. I feel like if I spent all that time playing Counter-Strike in high school into another hobby, I could be like a master and expert at that. But also hindsight's 2020, and if I did that, I probably wouldn't have the same friends and the same friend group and like the strong bond and connection that I have with my high school friends to this day. So it's like a 50-50 whether I would switch up. For the last few days, I have been so locked in the apartment, just editing all of the New York footage. It's like a blessing and a curse. I really like the fact that I have something consistently to work on. I feel like I'm very goal oriented. I feel like I'm really like project oriented, where if I don't have something to actively work on, I will work on nothing. But if I have something going already, I will not sleep, not eat, not take a break until it's completely done. So blessing and a curse. Since coming home a few days ago, this is actually like my first time stepping outside. I literally flew home from New York, went to get groceries that night, and yeah, this is my next time leaving the apartment. Honestly, I wasn't planning on leaving the apartment at all today. I thought I was just gonna continue editing, but then my mom called me out of the blue and was like, make sure you still leave the house, you know, don't just work, make sure to take a break. So thanks, Mom. I'm heading down to get some food now. There's also a few really cool thrift stores this way, so I'm gonna grab a bite to eat at this restaurant that I've been eyeing up for a while on TikTok. Food, thrift store, and then head back to work. Also, that noise that you guys are hearing, I thought those were power lines when I first got here. Turns out they're bugs. They're called cicadas, depending on where you're from. And every year, every summer, this is what it sounds like here. Crazy. I need you to hold on. Heaven is a place not too far away. We all know I should be the one to say we all make mistakes. Take my hand and hold on. Tell me everything that you need to say. 'Cause I know how it feels to be someone. Feels to be someone who loses their way. Looking for answers. saw this video on YouTube where this guy was thrifting and he found a Leica camera in like one of these shelves at like Valley Village, and I have dreams that that'll happen to me one day. That's funny. This thing down here is literally this is the CPU cooler that I had in my first computer. And I started out this video talking about my computer, and here, it's right there. That's funny, coincidence. So I tried on those two shirts that I showed you guys, but they were both like extra large, and like it fits, it's like an oversized look. I know that every time I buy an extra large shirt, I never end up wearing it because I just think it's too baggy, and I always have the mindset that it'll shrink, so then it'll become like a large, but it never does. It never shrinks the way you want it to, and then I just spend $15 on like a dish towel. I decided last minute to drop those pieces, even though they were kind of cool and they were only like 15 bucks. So gonna grab a bite to eat now. It's like the shawarma place. I absolutely love shawarma, and I saw on TikTok that the shawarmas there are only like $5, so gonna grab some of those. I don't know if it's just me now, but I don't even use Google or like Yelp to find out like reviews of food places. I basically strictly use Instagram Reels and TikTok, and maybe I'm like super brain rot or Gen Z for that. I just find that I like to actually see a video, like a quick video, not a YouTube video, but like a quick short form video of whatever I'm getting myself into. And I feel like I was talking about this with someone recently. Like, I mentioned the fact that I use TikTok as like a search engine for finding good restaurants and places to chill at and shooting locations when I'm traveling. And they looked at me like I was absolutely crazy. But I feel like you guys would understand. I feel like that's not that crazy to use like social media as like a search engine nowadays. It's just so powerful. But also maybe it's because I'm super biased because I also make YouTube videos, so it's just like my go-to platform. Either way, if you do that, let me know, and if you don't, you should. Dude, what the heck? The place that I wanted to go to is closed, so I came across the street here, another shawarma place, which is funny because I talked about how I don't use Google, but then I checked Google and it was open anyway, so kind of weird. Maybe it's just like closed on some days, that it's a local thing that I don't know about. But came across the street and grabbed the chicken shawarma. Okay, food was pretty good. I would give it like, I don't know, 7 or 8 out of 10. It was definitely different from what I'm used to. A little less flavor, but also the meat was way juicier, so it evens out. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. So I feel like when I was a kid, not even when I was a kid, like 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago, I was really scared for some reason to do things alone. Like, I never wanted to be caught outside alone, like without a friend, without a family member or anything, because I was just scared of what other people would think, because for some reason I thought that everyone was staring at me and like looking at my life and everything, but in reality that's not true at all. Nobody cares about what you do at all. Nobody's watching you the way you think they're watching you, and the only person who actually cares about your life is yourself. For example, when I was in university, I would always ask a friend to go to the library to study with me or go to campus to study with me, because I just didn't want to be sitting alone at like a desk studying and other people would see me studying alone and think like, wow, this guy has no friends. But now since I'm older, I realize how dumb that actually is, because that's not true at all. Eating at a restaurant alone is a little weird at first, but you just put in your headphones and you just like do whatever. It doesn't really matter. So now I have no problem just like doing things alone and eating out. Yeah, restaurants was definitely a new one for me. But you just put in your headphones and nobody cares. You get to enjoy your own company and eat your food at your own pace. The ability to be super comfortable with yourself is like so powerful. And I think that a lot of people nowadays do not have that. I'm still learning myself. I'm gonna head home now and get back to work. I am currently so deep in this edit. I've been going at it for like the entire day since I got back, and I just finally took my eyes off the monitor, looked up and looked at the sunset. Check this out. I have said this before about this view, but this will never get old. So the last place that I lived in before coming to Chicago was like in a basement, so I actually had 0 windows. Okay, that's kind of a lie, because there was this little window at the very top, but it actually wasn't in my room. It was like in the hallway leading into my room, so that was the only little bit of natural light I had. So now switching up and having this nice view while I work is just so nice, so inspirational. Keeps my mind like fresh.
Baby girl, you know what I want. Let me do it to you, do it to you. Let me do you like Baby girl, you know what I want. Let me do it to you, do it to you. Let me do you like childish Gambino, got that swagger. All these pussy niggas round here don't matter. All that I know is that I wanna dance with ya. Moving close, have a boy gon' kiss ya. Know that you know me, don't act stupid. You seem different, tired of these groupies.
There's this Asian bakery right here that I actually went all the way down to Chinatown to try because of like a TikTok. I saw a TikTok that was like, must try Asian bakery, Chicago. So I went down only to find out that there's one way closer to my house. Taking the train from where I am takes like an hour to that bakery, and I can walk to this one in like 5 minutes. Doing a bit of grocery shopping today to properly prepare myself for the rest of the week. I like to meal prep as much as I can because it just saves me so much time in the kitchen. So instead of spending like an hour every day cooking up a dinner meal, I'll just cook for like 2 or 3 hours on a Saturday or Sunday and then eat that meal for as long as I can. Usually that means I have to meal prep 2 times in a week.